Hey there, everyone. Ervin here, and today I'm going to be talking about everything you need to know to combat the incoming Illuminate threat in Helldivers 2. With Meridia spaghettified, there is much speculation that we will certainly be receiving a return of the Squid Face threat very soon. So, I've compiled all the information I could on what you can expect once the call to action comes to combat them once more, Helldivers. Let's get into it. First, let's talk about the weapons we're going to be going up against. The Illuminates, according to the data we've been able to get our hands on, will be returning to the galaxy brandishing many arc weapons that deal large amounts of lightning damage. This means there has never been a better time than now to get your hands on the cutting edge War Bond if you haven't already, as the 95% reduction to electrical damage each of these armors carry is going to be absolutely clutch when combating the squids this time around, reducing some of these weapons hits from serious life threatening injury levels to moderate inconveniences at best. Illuminates were known for their intelligence and psychic powers. They are the source of our own personal shield technology, after all. As a result, you can expect many of their units to be lighter on armor compared to the other two factions overall, but sporting massive shields that are able to, at minimum, soak one instance of damage no matter how large. The shields will likely be operating with a significant max health pool that, when depleted, will render any excess damage from the instance that destroyed it nullified entirely. As a result, weapons like the recoilless rocket launcher, spear, and even autocannon will see a significant reduction in overall effectiveness against the squids, having at minimum their projectile damage neutralized by shields of any size. It'll still be possible and likely even necessary to use anti tank weapons such as these against larger foes, such as the tripods. But to combat these shields, we're going to need to maximize our DPS and RPM. This means following our hopefully significant buffs for assault rifles in the upcoming patch. Speaking of assault rifles, can we talk about how I used the Patriot assault rifle during these Helldivers 1 missions with 70 round magazines and 12 spares on deck? I mean, what happened to our budget, Super Earth, and why are all my magazines suddenly Super California compliant? We can also expect a fantastic use case for automatics, lasers, and especially machine guns going up against this new threat. High RPM, high DPS weaponry will melt through the shields in no time, wasting very little damage finishing off the shield relay. Then it'll punch through into the relatively squishy squid bodies waiting underneath for fantastic results. It's too early to say which automatic weapons will see standout use here, but in the support category, I'm expecting the laser cannon to be in an absolute class of its own as an anti light vehicle answer against these guys. If I were to pick out a primary I think will perform particularly well here, though, is very reasonable chance that the upcoming AR-23A Liberator Carbine, despite the stigma attached to being Liberator 5, will potentially be a breakout hit against the Illuminates. Illuminates, as I've said, do not tend to crutch on utilizing heavy armor, instead opting for their shield tech almost in its entirety. So the high RPM and seemingly deep magazine of the Carbine could be exactly what the doctor ordered, despite likely being late pen, as this will not be an issue for the Illuminates. The stalwart of all things, with its absurdly high RPM, deep magazine, and high DPS, may at last see some widespread use against the Illuminates. I have to say, I'm excited to see all the underused equipment that will likely be potentially meta against the Illuminates, having lived in the shadows of much better options all this time up until their arrival. Fingers crossed that I'm right. Shields are going to be far from the only concerning piece of advanced technology you're going to be needing to worry about while taking these guys on. The Illuminates have absurd teleportation technology, meaning when a scout detects your presence and calls in reinforcements, there isn't going to be any dropships or bug holes. The enemy is going to be teleporting directly to your location near instantly, forcing an immediate, intimate engagement upon you. So, when the enemy becomes aware of you, you'll want to have your air support stratagem out in their teleportation field near instantly without a second thought to prevent an immediate visceral jumping that could make Mappa animators blush. The Illuminates will have yet another dastardly trick up their sleeves in the form of cloaking technology. When can I get my active camo backpack, Arrowhead? I'm waiting. Anyway, the Illuminates liked to deploy an enemy class called the Outcasts. These enemies are invisible Halo Elite wannabes with energy swords and active camo. Luckily, in the first game, these didn't have shields, but that could always change, of course. Handling these guys will likely be on par with handling stalkers in the Terminid faction. You'll want a weapon handy that can deliver some heavy stagger for the purpose of creating some space when they manage to creep into your personal area. Keeping an eye out for these guys is likely to be pretty difficult, considering we can expect them to come equipped with the Stalker's recently upgraded camouflage that functions within foggy worlds. Illuminates, alongside their invisible sword wielding dashy outcasts, are also known for deploying snipers with charge rifles. These weapons were extremely powerful and could instantly kill an unshielded Helldiver as a result. If we were to see a return of this enemy, you would need to stay very aware of your surroundings and likely actively dodge the laser beams as they begin to charge on your location. This could also promote the need for a, well, counter sniper in the form of the Diligence counter sniper. Having a squad mate in the group actively watching for enemy snipers will likely be a big part of the gameplay loop when facing off with the Illuminates, and should be considered when you go to face them for the first time as they appear in the galaxy. Illuminate buildings are entirely speculation at this point, but I imagine they will be equipped with powerful shield generators capable of nullifying air support. This will likely force us to infiltrate the barrier and destroy the facility by hand, unlike with the automatons, where an orbital laser or Lucky 380 can handle a large base all on its own. This will likely bring a lot of value to tools like the mech suits for their on demand bursts of firepower for taking on large facilities such as these through more direct hands on confrontation where air support is disallowed. Finally, the Illuminates are known for their psychic powers.
Now, I will show you why I am the most powerful practitioner of psychokinesis and telepathy in the world. No, there's no need for words, Snake. I'm Psychomantis.
Elder Illuminates in the previous game had an extremely annoying ability to reverse your controls when their attacks connected, making death all but certain for those unable to handle the sudden mix-up. We can expect similar or worse powers to accompany our foes this time around. However, it's worth mentioning that the personal shield generator was previously capable of nullifying this effect entirely against us, meaning it will likely not only be able to do so again, but be an extremely valuable choice in your loadout as a result. While the majority of this video is in fact speculation on my part, it does come from what little data we've been able to scrounge thus far, as well as the analysis of a now veteran of both galactic wars. So, while I may not be entirely correct, I can all but guarantee that the majority of this information will be helpful to our soldiers in the field as the battle begins against the Illuminate. So, don't forget to get your hands on the cutting edge War Bond if you haven't, for that clutch lightning resistance before they get here. And thanks for watching till the end. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time.
And now, another helpful tip from General Brash.
Erevin ventured beyond the black hole to bring us valuable information that will surely assist our soldiers against the very real incoming Illuminate threat. For this, I am ordering all active Helldivers to like, comment, and subscribe to his channel. Failure to do so will result in your arc-resistant armor being revoked.
Brash tactics! Use them or die trying!